Welcome to my new series of videos on the Preludes and Fugues of Bach, the first book of the well-tempered keyboard. And we've come now to Prelude number 5. Now, Prelude number 5 is really considerably more difficult technically than the other preludes we've seen so far. And of course, if you are going to play this, I would advise first to go and practice the Prelude number 2, which has again this similar idea of practicing dexterity. Now, and also I advise you to go listen to the video because I explain exactly how to look at it and what are the problems behind it. Now, like Prelude number 2, we are lacking harmony, which means we run often with just a melody and we need to imagine the harmony underneath. So we have the melody and we just have one note underneath. So we need to understand from this one note what are the harmony underneath. So naturally it's not that complicated. You understand that it's 1 of D major, the first inversion of D major, the dominant of A major, and A major of course, and back to D major. But it gets more complicated because Bach likes a lot to modulate. Now, the other difficulty about this prelude is the fact that unlike number 2, Prelude number 2, that it was always the same pattern going from 5th to the thumb. 5th finger, 1st finger, 5th, and making work the 3 and 2 in the middle. Here we have a less regular kind of pattern. And not only is it less regular, it also changes the interval. So it has close interval, a little bit further, and very long interval. Big interval, close interval, and again big. On top of it, you have the black keys on the 4th finger. That's very inconvenient. So all these difficulties together, the lack of harmony, the intervals that keep changing in an irregular way. Sometimes they're close together. They're just like one tone or semitone. Sometimes they're a tone and a half. Sometimes they are 5th, sometimes they're 6th. And all the time changing in a way that is not so predictable. Plus the black keys and the 4th finger, all this make for quite a difficult piece to play in a regular manner. And the real subject of this piece is actually to work on regularity. And so that this should be played really like a Swiss clock. And so what you need to do is to analyze what's going on, which intervals are difficult. So for example, reaching the 4th is difficult. So you need to make your 4th finger work there. Not to try to reach it with your hand, but really make it work. And understand that this finger is weaker. So you will need to give it a little bit more strength. That's a clever way to work on your 4th finger. The other thing you need to understand is that usually intervals that are come close together you will want to play them faster. So you need to sort of pace yourself in the distance between short intervals and wide intervals. And understand that even if you have to reach the A and you have to reach another 5th finger, which is also weaker, it needs to be made with the same timing as the notes before. So, 3 things to do in this prelude. To go through the whole prelude and imagine the harmony underneath. Second thing is to play it in a way that all the intervals have the same distance in the timing. And the third thing is to look ahead and understand when there are positions which are uncomfortable for your hand, and prepare for them. To look forward, to look ahead, when you see something difficult approaching, prepare yourself, brace yourself for that, prepare your hand position, have your fingering already and the hand position so that you don't play with your arm, but really you make every one of your fingers work. That's the point of this prelude, is to really work on the independence of each fingers, even when it comes in an uncomfortable position on the keyboard. See you next time on fugue number 5, and see you then. I hope you enjoyed it.